Hello people, and welcome back to the fourth episode of the midnight level design breakdown of this volcanic city level. Last time we left off at the beginning of the volcano, at the entrance, where we squeezed our way through the small hole to kinda tighten the player again, so he feels like claustrophobic from the big open, if you remember the space separation and the look at of the player journey. So there should be a shift in pace, there should be a clear border to the player. Okay, this is a new area you're about to enter. As soon as we leave the hole and are actually inside the volcano, we kind of see this. So it's not pretty interesting, and I've also read some comments about that it's not really visually visible as a volcano, and I totally get that, but we have to kind of stay there for now and just imagine it actually being a volcano. Something I can already kind of show to you, even though this is not really a good design area in my opinion. This is also one of the weaker parts. So again, we kind of showcase the player journey without revealing what's below there. Obviously, we could just take a step further. We're going to look at that in a second, but it's hidden now. So it creates curiosity in the player, interest. So we walk closer to the edge, so we were able to look down. This is also quite interesting, since this is a visual abnormality, which makes this shape and lighting look unique to catch the player's attention. So there's something we have to check out. If we actually walk a step closer to the edge and angle our camera a little more down, we see our goal of level. This is the crystal. So we see a path downwards, with a jump and another jump, then a crystal, and then maybe an exit. But we don't know what lies beyond this exit. This is pretty revealing everything, so it's not really interesting to explore. There's definitely some more climbing, and also the way downward is made in a boring way in my opinion. But again, we're going to talk about that in a second. Something you can take away from here is to actually utilize the camera position of third-person controllers. So as you might know, and the player actually stands here, look at my awesome player, the camera is most of the time angled like this. So we see kinda the player from the top, from the back. So he's looking in this direction as well. So we see downwards, it's angled downwards. So if the player stands on an edge, this is already visible automatically. Because you kinda always have the issue when you make a level for a third-person game, that something is up here. It's hard to actually show the player and frame it in a cool way, because the player would need to move their camera downwards, so the angle would kind of go up and actually capture that. So we have this kind of from top down, where the player wants to get an overview of his character and his short surroundings. We can utilize this to showcase our goal. So you exactly see what I did here. Obviously in the second screenshot it's a little bit extreme. I manually turned my mouse, but in here this is basically the normal third person camera perspective. If we would want to showcase something up here, it wouldn't be really easy, because the player would need to move their camera to the ground, and this is just unnatural. Well, I could tell you a lot of times that the way downwards, the path down, is a little bit uninteresting, but I guess you already saw that yourself from this screenshot. So there's nothing to really talk about. It's just a short platforming section where the player can take as much time as they want, but there's definitely a big room of improvement here. For example, we could utilize the sliding we had in the very beginning, maybe the crouching a little bit. It's just like going there, dropping down, going there, dropping down, going there, dropping down, and then doing the jumping. But this isn't really interesting. It's nothing new. We already see the path, so it's also not this curiosity which doesn't get spiked here. But here we can actually see something interesting, which is our goal here in pink. Then our unique hole, which is kind of curious for the player, and something here. This is a destroyed bridge. So we kind of do some visual storytelling where we say, okay, the relic is not accessible anymore because the bridge is destroyed, but there might still be an exit over here to kind of spark the curiosity. But as you've already heard in my sentence, there might be an exit, so we don't really know what's up there. So it's really easy for the player to unconsciously plan their path again. Okay, player, I will jump as a player, I will go there, I will maybe collect it, and then I will probably jump there because the bridge is not accessible. I think that's pretty nice. I also think here I could have done a better way of visual storytelling and shape language, because you see the white rock here, but it isn't really placed in a nice way. Also this in the background, there's nothing here, there's a lot of emptiness. I think there could be a better way to frame the hole, to kind of like, you can almost imagine big arrows to the hole, not actual arrows, but like rock formations or like spikes here, like pointy things if you believe in shape language, of course, and like rounded shapes here to kind of tell, okay, this is danger, you don't want to go there. This is nice, you want to go there. But as I said, if you believe in shape language. Next is just a closer screenshot of the crystal. So we see the destroyed bridge here again. I'm just noticing I missed the material assignment here. But we see the destroyed bridge and then our point of interest in a clearer way with a smaller hole there. And well, who would have guessed, a conveniently placed rock formation there, which kind of serves as a jumping ramp, similar to the ones we used in the roof sections, where the ramps or the wooden planks always showcased, hey, go in this direction. So we're staying consistent with our language. So now if we actually approach it, the player would collect the crystal. There's a camera shake happening to kind of showcase the impact the player has on all of this. But I also think this could be supported or improved by a lot. For example, we see a small tidbit of lava here. What if the lava actually starts rising now? So the time pressure stuff starts again. I thought about that and I also got into feedback for it. But to be honest, after thinking through it, it kind of depends on my project or design goal. Because to me, I don't want this space to feel super stressful and super, you really have to hurry, run. This should be more like a safe space where you have time to steal something. But after kind of reflecting on it, you know, like in the moment it always feels different. But if you slept one night over it, it doesn't really make sense because we stole something. There's a thrill already there and we should support this thrill feeling with the lava coming. And the camera shake does the same. It impacts everything. Just imagine we go into a bank, we steal the golden amulet or the jewels and nothing's happening. No alarm sounding. We can just walk in there, get it, and then walk away. That's pretty boring in like an intensity flow in my opinion. So I guess the rising lava would be a good improvement, but we would also need to change this coming part because this wouldn't really make sense in my opinion, since we want to visually showcase the lava is coming up now, because we would kind of need to showcase the lava actually starts to flow up. But if it flows up a little bit, our escape point is already flooded. So the player needs to understand this in a really fast manner, but also have their escape path open. Okay, we jumped down, we stole the jewel, it's now on our backpack, on our back. So we actually see a change of the player character and its visuals to kind of showcase, hey, you actually collected it. And I think that's also really important to give the player a sense of progress. Hey, something changed. That's something I personally really like in, for example, tower defense games when you upgrade your tower and it just changes visually as well. Not only the stats are getting stronger, but like the visuals also change. Other than that, we are now at the smaller hole. So we can kind of climb through there, crouch through there, and we kind of get into this side cave, I would almost say. I mean, it should look like a cave pocket or something. I tried to do it with this stuff, but yeah. And this is where we come to a small little infamous problem of mine, like a personal problem. I don't know if everyone has this. So let's say there's a path here and it opens up. And like there's a wall here. So basically exactly like this room. So we walk in and the player obviously looks forward. So he's looking in this direction. But now I want the player to actually turn around because the exit is in this direction. How do I do that? I always think, oh, U-turns are pretty cool, the 180-degree turn. So we walk in, and well, the player will automatically turn around and see the exit. But I've noticed during playtests a lot of times the players will just go in here, go there, go there, go there, go there. And because they're so busy with what's going on here, the separation is not really made clear. And they just run around and are frustrated. Oh, where do I have to go? Because like the room is also like noise to them. They want to explore and they are focused on the room. Not on the next path ahead. They don't think that much ahead. They just enter the room and are thinking, hey, okay, what's in the room? Let me check out the box here. Let me check out the lamp here. They are not focused on, okay, where do I head afterwards? So basically the room is really simple. It's just, they run around. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it doesn't look really complex, but this curve solves the problem of going like this. We go in and then do a 180 instantly, because this will never happen, the 180-degree turn. This will never happen. I've never seen it actually worked, rather than if I don't catch a player's attention with a sound here when he's at the turn. There will never be an intentional automatic turn of the player. They will need a incentive to turn. And with this, I basically do a lot of smaller turns and scatter some obstacles in there. And bam, we have our 180-degree turn, but like a little bit dragged out and more digestive for the player. Now that we know that, we can have a look at this side pocket, as I said. So we exactly see, okay, this is too high up for us. I cannot go up there. This is also too high up. But we see, okay, here, here, here. We can jump up there. And then we go into the right. So you kind of see the U-turn already. I can clearly go up here, because I also see the interactable. This is like the shape language stuff again. So we also see this, the weight. It definitely points in this direction. So we go up there and then can reach the top. If we go one screenshot further, so you see like this is just a 15-degree turn. Jump up, see climbable, go up, and then do the rest turn. We also see this shape thing, which kind of serves to kind of smooth up the corner, because the corner in this space would also disrupt the flow, and while smoothly guiding him along the wall would be a cleaner, better way. So this is our not point of interest, but this is where we want to go now. In this screenshot, we now actually see our main goal, where the exit of the room is, which is right here. We see some depth here, and the accessibility stuff here, where we can just make a big jump. Well, I'm just noticing this is pretty dirty. I should have definitely cleaned this up, but you get the idea of the room. This is where we entered, and basically also here is where we exited. Just there's a change in verticality, because we want to go up, we want to go away from the underground stuff. And there's also this 180-degree turn, but made in an interesting and intuitive way, so it doesn't feel as disruptive as just a sharp turnaround would feel. There's also this jump, which is quite big, in my opinion. This is also like a challenge, I would almost say, to the player. So it's not just all of the small jumps, but in the last volcanic area, on this volcano area, there was no really danger. Like in the path downwards, maybe a little bit if you're really clumsy, but there was no like real hard obstacle. And this is the only bigger jump where you really need to sprint and jump at the right input. But again, this shouldn't be a hard level or shouldn't be a frustrating level. So even when you fall down, you just fall to the ground and then can redo it. So you're not dying. You just reset the 5 seconds which took you to climb up here. Of course, this needs to get balanced. In my opinion, this distance is right now in a good position. Well, that's easy for me to say because I didn't have playtesters. But if this jump is too hard, it would also be very, very bad. Because imagine there's like one challenge at the end of the room. You make the hard jump, but it's a little bit too hard and you just can't reach the edge and you always fall down. And you always have to spend another 5 seconds of your action to climb back up and try again. And it's basically a trial and error. So again, we just managed to grab the ledge, climb up, and then climb up there. And maybe you remember this POI almost, or like this unique visual looking asset. These are the wooden planks we saw earlier when we had this shift and power stuff with my favorite shot with the wall, if you remember. We also see a hole in these planks and some planks pointing away from us. These serve purely as a direction. Hey, please go through here, like the visual arrows I mentioned earlier. And the hole is obviously very inviting and should again tell the player, hey, be careful, you're exiting this area and entering another area of the level, or like a previous area we already were. So if we go through, in best case, you already see where we are now. We see the auxes, we see the cards, we saw the planks, we see the wooden statue, we see the tower, and we see the gray roof. This is where we look down from my favorite shot. So we see the same space in a different angle from a different perspective. And looking at this enemy who's walking towards us, I feel like the power dynamic feels a lot different now. The enemy actually seems scary. He's walking towards us, he's on the same eye level as us. We're not safe anymore on the roof. And as soon as we exit this border with these boxes, so exit from our hiding spot, we'll probably get chased again. So this space is clearly communicating to the player, okay, are you ready? And this was something really important to me. I want to give the player control over his own decision. Hey, jump over here when you're ready. While we're back here, this NPC will not see us. The guard will just continue circling around and the player can also wait the perfect timing. And I feel like this gives the player at least a little bit skill expression, which I think is pretty cool in such a simple gameplay loop with my character. In this shot, I also really like the cards. they're empty. And this is not because I didn't have time to decorate them or fill them up. Well, maybe a little bit, but they also serve purpose of this arch. We already know in best case that all of this side is blocked and we see through the card in this direction. And hopefully, maybe we also remember that there will be a city square. But I'd say let's wrap it up for now for this 4th episode and kind of go through the learnings as always. So first, we had a look at this hole, this space, an area or section separation, the border. Hey, you're exiting the open space now, you're entering the volcano. This helps the player in his mind to kind of separate the spaces so nothing blends seamlessly to a big clump of level. Then next, we have this view from the top down. So as I said in this screenshot or this little sketch, utilize the 3rd-person camera and its angle from the beginning. It's hard to make shots in the distance, high up in the distance, look cool from a 3rd person without like forcing the player consciously, but looking down to something is always really comfortable in 3rd person. Oh, this is a little bit messy, but this is also like planning, points of interest, visual storytelling, I would almost say. It's not really storytelling, but I hope you get the idea. Okay, broken bridge, I cannot go there, so I will jump here, jump there, collect the crystal, and go to the right. So we plan our stuff again. Then we have consistency with this platform, or with this rock platform. Stay consistent with your usage of your rules. For me, it's, hey, if there's a ramp or wooden ramp, a ramp shape, whatever, you can jump there, and that's probably the way I want you to go. Additionally, in this screenshot, the impact of player action and progression. We see the jewel or the crystal or the core or whatever it is on the back of the player now. The player model visually changed, so there's a sense of progress. And like for improvement, we could support the feel of pressure of the impact of stealing something when the world reacts more extreme. The lava rise up now, we really gotta hurry. With the camera shake, there are stones coming now from the top because the volcano is about to explode. Or maybe there are even spiritual guards which guard this jewel and we have to run away from them as well, and they can phase through walls. So you can really go creative in this direction. Then we have my personal issue challenge of the 180-degree turn, which is nice if you separate it up and add some obstacles in there to actually make it interesting for the player. By the way, there could be a cool opportunity for a secret behind this rock. Then we have again a big jump, but also make sure it's balanced in a good way in the layout. So balancing is not always about numbers, so it's not frustrating for the player to fail. And well, playtest of course. Then the exit with the hole again, and then give player control, revisiting the old space from a different angle. In best case, this is something we will look at in the next episode, is that the space is different now. I feel like this is also awesome every time a game does that, where I explore a space and the space itself is interesting, I get sidetracked with something else or just continue with the main storyline and I go back to the space, but it looks different now. Maybe the forest healed and grew a lot, or maybe the city got destroyed. A change in the environment is always nice to make the world feel more alive. And last but not least, we have again a lot of noise, the orcs, the mountain, the enemy, this stuff, this, the tower, and like pretty clear. That's it for now. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.